Okay, hello, good day all. So now in continuation of our class, we had the last thing we did is adding a control list of not download. So now let's move into what we call form. Yes. So form is what is type of thing in which we use to collect users' data. So now collecting, for example, now you want to open a bank account in your favorite beloved bank. So now when you want to open the bank account, you have to go to the bank and get to meet a personnel in the banking sector, and getting there, they are going to give you a form in which you are going to fill either manually or you type it online. So now the one for manually, for example, it's a Friday and the worker has to go home. So now the worker will gather the form together and getting your details. The person is going to get you enroll. The person is going to get you enroll online, create your account, and later send you a message that okay, your account has been successfully created. So that anytime anyone can access your form from anywhere in the world. They collect your data, maybe they carry it to their headquarters in Lagos or anywhere. So anytime you just want to create the form, instead of them contacting you, calling you, hello, what's your name? So that won't be possible, but they will be able to at least be able to put in your details into their system virtually. So now the continuation of the class, for you to create a form whereby people will be able to get into it, you have to the only thing one of thing in which this Visual Studio Code is good for is that it gives you more of an explanatory of what tag in which you are trying to put. So now let's type in form. Yes, this for form. So when you type in the first form, you're going to have an action. Yes, but the best of the form in which you can have is that using form get. That means all the information the person puts in, all the information the person had, you want to get it. So now and there's an action here. You can see our cursor is blinking, our typing cursor is blinking, that action. So what do you want the action to be? After the person you gather the person's information, what action do you want to take in it? So now anytime the user submits his or her details, you want it to mail to a particular email, or you want to send it to a particular number. So now sending to a email, you have to write mail to. Hmm? Mail to means that it's going to send it to someone. Then you put a semicolon. Yes, on putting a semicolon, you have to type in the email address you want it to go. So now we have tech and stem tutorial at gmail.com, or use our second one. Yeah, or use the second one, which will have to be info at tech and stem tutorial.com.ng. So now one of these is going to go through. Yes, we're just making an explanation that we have two email. So now it's anyone you selected is going to go through. So now let's go with the first one. So now anytime I submit this form, it's going to go in somewhere. So now what do we want to submit inside of the form? We talk about this is a form, and anything you want to write, anything you want to be feasible should be before the closing tag. So now I put an enter, I press my enter. So now I am now in line 16. You now start putting in your input. You start putting in your input. So now for input, yes, when you type in input, and it's going to bring you this boilerplate. So you can see the inputs we have. We have inputs of B, inputs of btn, inputs of button, inputs of C, inputs of checkbox, input of color, input of date, time, local. We have multiple of them: password, range, radius, share, submit, tell, text, URL, week. So now when you put that, when you select any of this, it's going to think that you are creating a HTML value, HTML and CSS. So, and here we are working with HTML only. So now you type in your input, you select the first input. Yeah, when you select the first input, it's going to bring you type. So now I select text. So on, let's put a placeholder. Placeholder is actually good for people who are screen readers, as we said earlier. So now put a placeholder of this is a test. This is a test. So now let's open it in our browser and see what we have. So can you see? I have that this is a test. That means that anything I have to put here is can be it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test. This is an autofill. This is an autofill. So it brings this out as a test because a name here is a test. So you can put in numbers, put in different type of thing. So that's a placeholder. So when we delete the number, we have a placeholder of this is a test. So the second thing we have here is input of number. input of number. So this one is going to give you input, and now you delete the text, yeah, because it's going to show text only. So you have to change it over to what your current input want to be. So now we select number. Yes, that means this is really going to work for anything number. Now let's put a placeholder of this is a number. So we can copy this and put a placeholder. Yeah, this is a number. The first one was a text, and now this is a number. This is a number. So now you're going to have it here. This is a number. So you can see this on clicking on this box, you can see up and down arrow. So now the up means that it's going to be increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up till infinity. Up till infinity. This is going to make it go back, and this is going to make it descend. This is going to make it reduced. So 0, -1, -2, that's the way it's really reduced. So now this is mostly used and mostly collect number. Yes, to collect number, we have text here. So now there's something happening here. Both of them were standing in between. Both of them are beside themselves. And now if you check in our code, they are not beside themselves inside our code. So there's something we have to do, which is very common. We have to break them. So now the first break, we attach it here. That's what it do. It's take the second input of number. This is an input. It take it to the next line. And when you put the break, so now this break is now going to put a gap between both of them. Can you see? That's the way we do have a test. So now we move to another part of input. Yes, that part of input. Let's put in our input. So now this is the input, and on putting the input, okay, sorry, this outside of the form. Let me maximize the screen. So now input. Yes. So now we change the type to what? Anything you want. So now we want an email. We want the input to collect the email of the user. Then we have to put a placeholder of this is okay. You have to put an placeholder of enter your email. Yes, enter your email. So now let's go into our browser and check out. Can you see it's still beside this? Now we're waiting for the placeholder. Can you see the placeholder? Enter your email. So now let me try to click here. So now it brings me out emails address I have. That means it already know. So when I change the type to input, it already know that what I'm putting here is I change the type to email. So it does that it's going to show up image or email. So now here what I'm going to have here is having text words. Yes, this is going to be number. So now the number and the email are still on the same line. Yeah, we have to break both of them. So now when applying break, it's going to be on the last tag before the one you just wrote. So now we put this is email. So now let's try another type of input. So we have input of you change the password, you change the type to password. What you want here is password. What you want here is password. So now let's give a placeholder. I want to put a placeholder so people will be able to know that okay, what I'm putting here is a placeholder. So now enter your password. Yeah, and there is a way when you're trying to fill a form and they will be telling you they will make an asterisk with red, like you filling a Google form when you want to register for this class. So when you do not fill it, it's going to tell you that this thing is required, this field is required. You need to put in your details into it. Yes, you need to put in your details. Now let's go to the password. You see, the password is still beside the email. That means we have to continue the breaking. That's the way it's going to be. You have to continue the breaking. So now here we break. Can you see password? So now let me click on it. I want to type something. Hello. So can you see that it's bring a eyes for me, showing me that this is a password that okay, you can see your password, you can hide your password, and you may sometimes see your password. So hello world. Now some password does not allow you to put space in between them. Most of them are written by JavaScript, so it's said to be JS. But now we have some fundamental in which you could at least attach to our HTML. So now enter your password. We've made a input of enter your password. Yes, on writing anything, it's telling you that password. So now when you try registering for a particular course and you have to put your password, they will now add put you some message that okay, for this your password, the minimum of your password should be at least 8 characters, should be at least 7 character, 10 character, and the maximum should be this. So now to set the minimum, let's type in min. Min means minimum. Then you select the min length. That means the length of how you want the password to be. Now select the min length to be 8. You see, I'm still inside of my the input of password. I'm still inside the input of password. So now let's try the min length. Let me put on my own screen so you'll be able to see that I'm typing. So now here we have it. HTML5. Hmm? So now when I click here, there's a message that occur. So now can you read the message? It said that please lengthen this text to 8 character or more. You are currently using 5 character. That means everything I wrote here is just 5 character. I can write I can write it up to 8, and after up to 8 I can write it up to 100, up to 200 for the password, because we've not set the maximum. We only set the minimum. So now the password is not going to work if we set it to be 5, so we need to complete it up to 8. So I'm still on 7, it's giving me the message. Now it's on 8, no message. Hello, 888. Hello is 5 letters and 888, the 888 at 3. So now we can start continue typing. Why? Because we did not set the minimum. We did not set the maximum, but we set the minimum. So now to set the maximum, we go over here and put max. You're setting the maximum. You click on the second maximum of 15. So now let's test it out. Let's use the on screen. Okay, sorry. Now hi guys. I'm on 7. Hope you're hope you're day. Okay, sorry. As I said, let me use the on screen. Hi guys. So let me show it. Hi guys. Hope okay. Hope you're so I'm taking this as a password, right? I'm taking it as a password. But it's get to a place where it's going to stop typing. Now I'm trying to put a T. You see, the T is sounding, but it's not adding up to my word because everything is already on 5. I is 2 letters word. Guy is 4 letters word. That makes 6. Up is 4 letters word. That makes 10. U is 3. Y O I U Y. They are 5 letters word. That's 15 letters altogether. So now that is the maximum character in which you can have for your password. Yes. So now when you putting anything here, you see here you're going to have an email, here a number, here a text. So here password. After all, let's put an input. So now for the input, let's first of all add our break. Yes. Sorry. So now there is our break. We've already had break. That means that anything we are writing here is going to be put down. Input. So now you can use this selecting color. You see, it's asking you name, ID. So ID have a create select of more of like, and we have two type of selector in CSS. We have the class selector and we have the ID selector, but we don't need that. That's the reason why I said put input and type in what you want it to be. Now input, I select this, and now color. So now there is a way in which we write our color in Nigerian just because of the way in which we are colonized. So now I'm writing color here. I wrote it the way we do write it in Nigeria, but now it's not showing. It's only showing me as an input. I mean, I can write in anything. But now you follow what the VS code done, what the VS code has for you, what you are using to make your works come out. So the color this is what it knows. So now let's see something. Can you see now that the input changed from what it is initially and changed to color? So now the first color we will be having here is black, and now placeholder cannot work here. Placeholder cannot work, and you can't change the color of it from your code unless you go into your output here. So now you click on the color itself, and now you start working on it. So now we have this 3 words RGB. RGB means red, green, blue. So it is on 000. That means that it is black. So now we can either do this by dragging the color. I have white. So now for white, the code for white using the RGB is going to be 25555 for each one and every one of them. But now I want to have red. I want to have a complete red. That's what we have. Can you see that the complete red is 2555? Yes, for the complete red. So I change this to 0. I have a black. Now I want to change this to 255. Now I'm going to have a pure green. And here I put it 255. Sorry, 255. That means I have the combination of blue and green is going to give me this. So now let me make this 0 and let's see what we have. We have a very pure blue color. We have a very pure blue color. Then we also have another way in which it can be done. We have this HSL. The HSL means hue, saturation, and light. So now the hue is 240, 100%, 100%. We also have another one which is said to be the S code. Now for the S code, it's written like this hashtag before anything comes. And now I want you to know something, that for this S code, you only have at least two things coming together. You are going to have, maybe when you have a D here, yes, you have a D here, definitely you're still going to have another D. One thing is going to be common in between them. One thing is going to be common in between them. So now for the normal one, we have 0. When you have it on 0, you have black. 0, black. 0, black. So now when you have F, F now is on blue. You have another F. You have another F. So now F in your CSS, 3F goes for white, but not everywhere. So you have to make it 6F. 1, this number 4, this number 5 down, this number 6. Now it's now white, pure white. That's how it works. So now another input, we have another input of, sorry, we have another input of date. We have another input of date. Yes, I told you not to do this. You see, this was going to bring us for you, and you should be a bit too confused. Input. So you take the first one, input, and you change the type to what? Anything you want, date. So now for this input of date, is going to give you the date. Yes, it's going to allow you to either put a manual date or you enter it automatically using the calendar. So now here we have dates. We also have date time local, and we have dates. Oh, and we have date time. So now let's break this. Let's break the dates from the color. Yes. So now it successfully break. So now we want to write a date of remain, maybe something like today. Yeah, today is April 21st. So now the month come first. The month come first. So now let me make an illustration here. You can see this desktop organizer. Yes, where I'm scrolling. We have 4/21/23. So now our system were just made to be in month, day, and year. Month, date, and year. So that's the way in which it was written. So this says it's a Friday. So now you have the month coming first. So now you can just input it. 04, today is 21, and the year 2020, okay, 2027. So now you making an input of manually, it's very easy, so far you know the date. But now when you have to search for date of long time, calendar is never made easy. So if you select today, that's mean it's going to give you today's date. So anytime you clear this, anytime you clear it, this will always be cleared. So now this date does not accept placeholder, just because all this MDD that we have here is also a placeholder on its own. It's a placeholder on its own. So now you can write it, okay, month of October, 1st, 2090, 1960. Yes, good, 1960. But you do not know the date, you do not know the day of a particular day. That's when you're going to use calendar. So I select October 1st, 1960. There's a drop down here, and I go to 1963. And I select November 21st. You see, it changed it over for me. So using your manual input is very easy than you using your calendar. So now we have another input called input of date time local. Okay, So you change the type to what you want, date, time, local. Yes, we still have to make a break of it. So now here we have the breaking. So now this is going to give you a date and time. And local means that it is on your local computer, it's on your local PC. So now let's change this to, okay, let's select, you can select it now. You can use the calendar to select it and manually do work. So month of 10, date of 01, and year of 1960. So now you can now select your correct date. So now it's telling me that please enter a valid value. This field is incomplete because I haven't add my time there. So now I have to write time of 12:51. So this one works for hour and this one works for minutes, and this one also work for AM and PM, the anti-meridian and post-meridian. This is not working for seconds. So for you to be able to know where exactly you are, so using the up button and down button, yes, using this up button and that button. So now if I should go here and I use the up button, AM, PM, AM, PM, AM, PM, that's the only thing we have. So now using this 12, this, you can, when you increase it, it's going to be up. I mean, when you use the up button, it's going to be up. Down, it's going to reduce. So that's the way you have it for date time local. So in our next class, we make a continuation from where we stop. Thanks for your time and God bless.